Good morning. Welcome to Social Media Breakfast of Houston. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I am so excited that we are going to be talking about putting together a book and getting it published and how important that is to your brand and the visibility of your business. I am so excited to have Veronica Jeans here. We had her here a couple of months ago to talk about Shopify because she is the Shopify queen. There's no doubt about it. She's written a series of books about Shopify, which we have a couple in our stand here. And I wanted to talk about book publishing. I just finished publishing our book, which is the amazing marketing book, a most amazing marketing book ever. And the reason I call it our book is because I did this with 35 other people. So this was a different experience. And so I wanted to bring you back because you've written a number of books all by yourself and had no help whatsoever. So I just want to talk about the different experiences today and help you if you're thinking about writing a book, if it's on your bucket list, which, by the way, if you have a business, it kind of should be. And I think that's what we're going to talk about today. So welcome, welcome, welcome.
Exactly. I mean, if you are in business, you have knowledge, you have expertise, somebody out there wants it. I mean, if you are giving a coaching class or if you're talking, you need to put it in a book because a lot of people want to read. They don't want to just go to webinars. They don't get enough information out of it. They don't just want to watch videos. But I sell books all the time, even if I'm not advertising, which I should be getting back into it again. But yes. Yeah. And I mean, it is easy and also not easy. It's like starting a new business.
Yeah, no. So I wanted to ask you that question first because I'll tell you about mine, and I just want us to have a conversation back and forth. You can ask me questions too if you want. But what made you decide to start writing books?
I had a speaking engagement, and the two ladies that were also speaking had books. And so everybody was lining up to talk to them, and nobody wanted to talk to me. And I went, what? I'm going to write a book. And so I was going to do it in 30 days, and 9 months later, I published it.
Oh, that's so funny that you say that because it took us exactly 9 months from the time that we decided to write this book till it came out. So that's a little bit of a benchmark for everybody who's listening in. Yes. And it's a thing. And it'll take longer if you're not super disciplined about it. So we set a schedule, and we had a very, very, we met every deadline. Yeah. So that's kind of how it got out in 9 months.
I think with you as well, you had an experienced guy, Mark Schaefer, who's written a lot of booooks. And so he knew what to do. Whereas when I started out, I had no idea. I had no idea how to format. I have an editor on these books, and she said to me, so did you use styles? And I go, okay, what are styles in Word? And did you do this? And I go, no. And so it is a huge learning curve. And the best way to do it is to, as a single person writing a book compared to a group, which is easier, right? Is to get into a group of authors that write. Doesn't matter if they're writing romance or any of this other stuff, but they know how to write.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about that because I know a little bit about your group, but tell me a little bit about that.
So I knew I had to do some advertising, and I got onto this Amazon 5-day challenge with Brian Cohen, and it was just amazing. And his competitor is Mark Dawson, who's very famous. So they do things differently. Anyway, so and I've been following him and doing whatever he says, and I've really been selling my books due to what they've taught me. And they teach you how to use Scrivener, which is one of the
Scrivener. There's also another one called Vellum that if you have a Mac that a lot of people like. So Scrivener is very helpful when you're formatting a book. So that was one of the
No, actually not
when you're writing it.
When you're writing it. So I write my books in Scrivener, and then I actually format it in Vellum.
Okay, so that you have both. You do both.
Yeah, I do both.
Okay.
And then I put it in, from Scrivener, I'll compile it into Word, which my editor wants, and not Google Drive documents, right? It has to be in Word. And so, so you have different ways of doing things.
And Scrivener, in case my team wants to put it out there, is Scrivener. Yeah, Scrivener.
So I tend to say it the German way.
Yeah, Scrivener.
Scrivener, yeah.
And the second
Vellum.
Vellum.
Yeah.
And they have it is a Mac software, but they also have now that show you how to use it in PC, which is fabulous, and Scrivener is just whatever, and it's both are computer based, so it's not online. So
you download
software. Yes.
I have Scrivener on my computer.
Yes. And here's a good tip. If you have to save things, right? And one of the things is backing up your book all the time. And then the third thing is back it up online, because if something happens to your computer, then you can't get to your book because it's obviously gone. And then you only might have the PDF. And moving a book from PDF into Word is a big problem.
It's a disaster. And so, I mean, I'm just telling you this because Alan Hennessy, who's a very good friend of ours, he put this together in sort of a PDF format, and it was very beautiful, and he formatted it and everything. And he realized, that's the thing about when you format your book and you put it on Amazon, you have to have a .mobi file that is like very different for Kindle, that's different for your book. You have to have another book file for that. And so having these tools are just super helpful.
Exactly. Vellum does it where it actually then, so you generate the book once you've fixed it all up, and generate the book. It'll do Apple, Google, Mobi, EPUB, something else, and also PDF. So, and as you editing in Vellum, I always do my last edits in Vellum. I regenerate it, or if you've forgotten something, or if there's a mistake.
Right. And your books, I mean, so the thing I want to say about Veronica's books is that she has a lot of illustrations in her books. So she does like a step-by-step process in her books, which is awesome. If you're trying to put together a Shopify website, this is like Bible, really good stuff. So that's got to be hard for the formatting though.
Yes, so I only put my images in once it's in Vellum, because I found none of the softwares can handle the
switch over.
Well, the size of the images. So I do screenshots. All my images are screenshots. Then I have to make it print ready, because that's 300 dpi. Then I have to make it grayscale, otherwise Ingram Sparks and these guys don't accept it. Amazon doesn't care. And but if it's just in color, then it doesn't print properly. So these are all things that you learn as you're going along, right? And so
do you just put like a little word or something in there and to do find and replace? Is that how you do this?
All my images are numbered, and so I put them in as a caption, which I didn't do before, which meant that I had one image on one page and then the numbers on another page. So the editor showed me you need to caption it. And it is a lot of work with a lot of images. So you really have to plan these things out. I just jumped into it and went, okay, I'm going to do this.
Of course you did. But it's like a puzzle. I mean, really, a book is like a puzzle. And it seems to me, I mean, that's how it felt here too. And with a compendium book, which is a lot of different authors coming together, we did this. Interestingly, we decided to have a certain format for each chapter. So that way, even though there's 36 authors in here writing different things, we have a format. So you come in and you read the chapter, and then there's 10 strategies for each thing. And they all come together like that. We also did I don't know if you did this. I didn't check that. Did you do an Audible for your books?
No. The people say yes for an Audible, no for an Audible. It costs money to do an Audible. So if you're bootstrapping it, no. And I still haven't good intentions to, but one of my and you literally have to decide what will the market bear. So write a book where people are interested, that people are going to buy. Because if you're just going to buy a book because I'm so passionate about this, I want to write about this. No, you got to write what people want to buy, obviously, like in any business. And so, you've got to find out if those books will sell in Audible, and then also cost, right? Are you going to make the money back? Because in the group that I'm in, we have like 2,000 people in this group. And there are so many in there that are not selling, right? And I was in a this is nonfiction group, which they really irritated me. I mean, everybody has their opinion in that group. And so but none of them are making money. So they will put the book up like this, and then they'll say, okay, I've got a book and I'm going to a speaking engagement, so I'll give it out, and then people will join me or sign up for my course or something like that.
Right.
So you have to have some
There's
intention.
a reason to have it, right?
Yes.
So it may not be that you're trying to be a bestseller or sell a bunch of books. It may be your calling card.
Yes.
It may be your calling card when you go somewhere. So it depends on, your purpose.
And I was at the speaking engagement, and these ladies were like, everybody was chatting to them. I thought, no. I also want to be important. But the cool thing was that once you write a book, either writing, and I'll write for 3 hours, and so.
Do you do that 5 days a week, 7 days a week?
Every
day. Single day.
And on Saturdays I write, because on Saturdays I actually write a blog and I send an email out, which is important, right? And I'm always something about the book or what a client needed, or so everything around it. Obviously, because I'm doing Shopify stuff. And on Sundays, it's like cleaning and then sitting and writing the whole day. If I'm not doing anything, I'll write all the time, because I have, how
many books do you have now? You're
9.
Yeah, you've.
But I have to republish every time.
Because they change things, right? So.
And also in marketing, you'll find that next year things have changed because Facebook has done something or Twitter is sold.
No, it's definitely true. And that's one of the things we also did here is the tips in this book are intended to be more evergreen. Like we didn't name any specific tools. It's more like marketing, this is the strategy, this is what you do. Well, some of them are, and we have an entire back portion, which is what's next, which is on Web3, which is on all those things that are coming. So that was interesting. But I can see in 2 years it would need to be republished. Maybe probably.
For Shopify 1 year, I had to redo.
I believe that, because that's an actual program.
Changed everything, but I'm very grateful to them. As Scott said, they are published. They are advertising for me. They're publishing their stuff. They're changing their things. So people need the book,
Yeah.
What can I say?
So are they your publisher or
no?
Scott?
So what I did is I actually I emailed them before I used Shopify, because if you use their brand, then there are some rules. So anyway, I did the press, and I thought, I've got to let everybody know I'm writing this book. And they said, there are rules where you have to have this space and that space. And the top one is my own logo that I created. And they didn't have a problem. So I just covered my bases. I didn't want them to come back. But for this book, and in the beginning, I didn't even have an editor. I did it all myself. Oh my gosh, and it was like, and the one review I got, the guy said, well, it's a really good book, but there are lots of grammar mistakes, because what I did was I believe Grammarly. Because
Grammarly was your editor.
Because I speak 3 languages, so sometimes my English is a little bit backwards. And so, as my son said when I sent this email out, he says, "Mom, you need somebody to check your email. It's terrible." Anyway, I've learned a lot. But when Grammarly says change this, I went, poof, and it changed things to, you read it afterwards, you go, really? This is not really what I meant, Yeah. So you learn as you're going along that you.
So who's your editor now?
Joy Montgomery, which I actually got through Scott. And
let's talk about Scott for a minute.
Yes.
So D. Scott Smith is one of the co-leaders of the Global Tea Break, which meets once a month, kind of like we do, meet once a month here. But it's Zoom, and that's where you and I met too, which is weird. Like we had to go to a Global Tea Break to meet somebody that's in Houston, and then I'm like, you have to come to Social Media Breakfast.
Yeah.
So that's how that went.
Yeah.
But yes, in fact, they created Global Tea Break, and it's on the third Friday of the month, because I told them they could not have it on the second Friday of the month, this is the first Friday of the month. I know this is a very unusual week, because next week we're doing the book launch in Knoxville, Tennessee at Mark's house. So I won't be here next week. So that's why I'm doing it now.
I've never done a book launch, actual in-person book launch.
I know, it's going to be fun. We're really excited. It's going to be very fun.
So a thing about D. Scott is,
yes.
So I actually said to him, hey, do you want to write a book? Because I wanted that experience to write with somebody else. Was fabulous, right?
Yeah.
But so my books are, I had to literally I wrote the book and I literally had to split it in half because it got so big. I mean, it's like, it could have been
that's why you have a
1,000
three
pages.
that's why we have that today for you guys. She has a 3-part series of Shopify books
because there's just so much information. But Scott's thing is that if you're writing something, you don't have to write a thick book. You can write, or even this, you write half of that. You just write a little bit, put it out there, and the next time you write a little bit longer. So I think the book that we wrote together is about 60 pages.
Oh, that's great.
Yes. So
easy read.
This is 300.
I need to buy that.
And my other one is my new one is 500 pages. It's like, oh. And so what I did is, in the beginning, I made the book bigger, the trim, so it would be less pages.
Tell us about the book that you and D. Scott wrote. What is it?
Oh, that was Freeze. It's about, and I don't know the title. Oh gosh,
goodness. I'll get it up Freeze. For you. Yeah.
Anyway, so it's about what do you do in recession, or if there's a after Ike, what happened to me. I write about that, and how you handle your business and what you should be doing to prepare your business. And D. Scott is also a business coach.
Yes.
And so it was very interesting. I wrote about my history with my grandparents in South Africa after the Depression, where they had to leave the country and the farm and had to go to Johannesburg to pivot, really.
Yeah, to get out of the farm. Yeah.
Yes. And my granny started 3 businesses. So yes. Freeze.
It's called Freeze in Action in the Face of a Business Crisis.
Yeah. So because most people, when a recession happens, most people pull back and they go, oh, I can't afford marketing. I can't do this. I can't do that. That's when you have to do it, because so many businesses do that. And so if you are actually doing something where you are pushing your business forward, and then instead of 20 people doing what you're doing, now there are 10. So you'll stand out, right?
Right.
And so that's what the book is about. I mean, I loved writing it.
Yeah,
and that's my design on the front thing.
Oh, there you go. I see. It's fun. It looks. It's like there's a rip, and it looks great.
I did pinch it from somebody.
They're trying to sell me Kindle Unlimited here, I guess.
Yes.
Oh, that's another thing I wanted to talk about was how you get paid as an author, and if you what you should expect, how much money you should expect.
So we know, if you have a business, you have to advertise. If you want people to see you, because growing organically sucks.
Yes.
And so
truly.
So I advertise on Amazon. Obviously, you upload your book to KDP. You create
KDP is a Kindle Direct Publishing.
Thank you.
We need audiences sometimes.
Yes, I know.
Kindle Direct Publishing. So you do have to get an account with Kindle Direct Publishing. It's free.
Yes.
But you just sign up, and then you would upload all of your files that are properly formatted to there.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. And one thing is, if you upload your print, you can never change the title. Never. That is it. So if you want to change, because you think the title is fabulous, you put it in and you go, oh, maybe I should have named it something else.
No.
You cannot change the title unless you really
a new release,
unpublish and and you can't even republish on the same place. You have to literally take it off, archive it, and do a new book. So make sure that so first do the ebook, wait a little bit, and then do the because you will see it on Amazon, and they put in, for instance, your series as well behind your book. So when I had like Shopify, which looked really odd. So I had changed my series. So you can have a series.
Yes, you bundled them.
Yeah. So this is a bundle series.
I have a link to that bundle that I gave to my team. She'll put that up for you. So that's helpful.
But they also have an unbundled series.
Okay.
Which is very interesting. My advanced books are going to be unbundled, but for this series is and then you can always change the series names as well, because it's all about keywords, right? As well.
So that's something I learned from you. So a couple of things I want to step back, because whenever you're putting a book up in, I would say when you start writing it, when we started writing this book, we came up with the title for the book first, and we started on the cover.
Yes.
Like immediately.
Yes.
Like the book was still being written and the cover was being worked on. Like
apparently that's important.
This is generative AI.
Yes.
So we had 3 different generative AI book covers, and we had different concepts. And one of our book authors wrote on it. Frank did it. And so Frank was working on this, and then he had 3 really good options whenever it came time. And so we took those 3 options, and for marketing, we put the 3 options out to the audience and asked people to vote. And I actually was able to build, we were like just under 1,000 people voted, like 800 and something, almost 900, I guess. And that was a really great way to build an email list of people that were interested in the book, that wanted to hear about it when it came out. So always be thinking about your marketing in advance, I guess.
So doing the cover before,
yes,
you can actually get a pre-order on Amazon. So if you look at my Amazon series, you will see my book 3 cover out, and I'm going to be putting my book 4 cover out as well on pre-order.
Good.
But so this is what I discovered, right? So I got banned for a year on my first pre-order because I was late. I was traveling. I was in Africa and whatever. Anyway, so I did email them and said, please forgive me, please, please, please. And they said, okay. But you never know what happens with Amazon.
It's better not to do that.
But so if you put it on pre-order, it actually locks up, and you cannot upload your manuscript, I think 3 days before.
Oh my gosh.
So I didn't discover this until I put up my second book. And I thought, I'll put it up today because it's ready. And it went, you only got 1 hour and 30 minutes, And I went, oh, holy cow. So they literally 72 hours before, they will lock it up, and you cannot. And then you're in jail, Amazon jail. You will.
So how far in advance do you have to upload it?
So when you do pre-order, you say, I'm going to put it up, say end of the month, 30 days. You can change that date. That doesn't matter. Or I think you can change once or twice. You can't change it all the time. But once you 3 days before, you know that you either have to change the date if you're not ready, or you have to start uploading.
Because they won't take it anywhere near close to that.
That's
important to know.
And then it gets unlisted. And that's it.
That's it.
Then so you lose the sales. If you have any sales, you lose the sales.
Yeah.
Thank goodness I didn't have sales. But
well, I know that we didn't do a pre-order on this. And so we decided not to, probably for those reasons, because he was counting on 36 people to get their stuff in on time. So what we did instead is we uploaded the Kindle book. So how it works if you don't do that is you'll upload your Kindle book and your book, and the Kindle book will go live much faster than almost any other part of it. So this print book will, you can pre-order it at that time. At that time, you can start pre-ordering it. And for us, thankfully, these came out, like I ordered it like the day that we launched, and I got it like by that Friday. That's not always the case. So sometimes there's paper shortages and there's sometimes other things, and you may not get your books for like another amount of time. You can also, as an author, order like bulk copies of books for a cheaper price from KDP directly. And so that's the funny part. You can often get the book from Amazon like for full price faster than you'll get your big box of books.
No, you have to order also.
What's true?
Well, no.
Okay, well, that's happened. That happened for us. Anyway, go ahead.
So in KDP, you order your author copies.
Yes.
Which you only pay whatever the print is.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
$5 or something like that. That's what I mean.
Oh, okay.
So like I ordered the box of author copies, and I got them a week later than these. So you have to realize that it's not going to necessarily all come to you exactly at the time that you need it.
That you're actually ordering the print book. Yes.
And we
not
also
the same day.
We also have an Audible book for this. And what's great about the Audible is it's going to be each author did their own chapter, and I don't think it just isn't done on Audible. And so we had to resubmit that. So right now we're waiting for approval on that. Because we had to you have to name a narrator, and there was like 36 narrators. So they've named Mark as the narrator. He does the beginning and the end. So whoever does the narration, they have to do the beginning and the end. So that should come out soon. But again, we launched like last week, and we still haven't gotten the Audible book out. So realize there's going to be some
delays.
That's the best way to put it, like at that moment. And it can be a little stressful. I'll be honest. It can feel a little bit stressful during that launch period.
Also, what I want to say about pre-orders, here's the good thing about pre-orders is, so I do Amazon ads. It's not like Google ads where you actually bid on whatever the other guy bid on, just a cent more. You actually bid lower. And I've sold really well. I've sold
You're great with ads.
About 4,000, 4,500, 5,000 books already. And so not this one. This one's still selling. But if it's on pre-order, I already start my auto ads. So my auto ads are running, which then put the rankings up as well. So, and then I started my category ads. Each book has like 3 categories that you can choose. So that's also a problem. So which one are you going to choose? And do not choose. The first time I published my book, somebody said, the guy said to me that was helping, said, choose something that's like, doesn't have a lot of books in it. That just screws up your algorithms. Bad advice. Anyway, so, but what you can do is, once you've chosen your categories, your book is up, then in the back under help, it goes to add more categories. And you can ask Amazon to add 8 more categories. You're going to have 10 categories for your book, which is a huge deal. So now you can pop up in 10 categories. And and also I advertise in different countries as well. So for every country has different categories as well. I'm pretty lazy. I just do these ones. And I sell. I've sold to Japan. I've sold to the weirdest place. Although Mark said to me, I said to him, I sold a book to Japan. He says, oh yeah, I sold a book to Mongolia. And I thought, well, you had to one-up me. So
Marcus, like that.
Seriously, dude, I was, but so you can sell internationally without realizing that you're selling internationally. But so if you're advertising and then you get these bits and pieces of money from Amazon, which is so cool, $10 here, $90 there, and Canada and all over. The advertising, first you get your money. You only get your money in 90 days. So it's like a back pay, which is really odd, right? Really odd. If you are in KU, it's always a good idea to be in KU because more people will buy it. Oh, sorry, Kindle Unlimited, which is a choice you have when you put your book up in the ebook up. Kindle Unlimited is when you have, with Amazon, it costs $10.81 or something to have a subscription to books, right, to ebooks. And so if I buy a book, it's for free, right? Although I have paid for it $10, I'm a vociferous reader. I read everything. I at least do about 30, 40 books a month. So it pays for me. But somebody that's buying the book thinks that it's for free. If you're not in KU, you're not for free. So I did both. I tested both. And so I was selling really well on KU, and then it went down. And I decided I'm going to do it wide on other platforms, like Ingram Sparks and Draft to Digital.
So go that slower. Draft to Digital. What'd you say? Ingram Sparks?
Ingram Spark.
Ingram.
Yeah.
INGRAM.
And we need to talk about ISBNs.
Yeah, ISBNs.
And then,
yes, we do.
And then, but what I found was that I'm selling better on KU, although people don't read the book completely. What they do is they check the book out. And because there's a lot of images and there's a lot of steps, and it's easier to study when you have a book, then they'll go and buy the book, which benefits me. And now obviously so when you're selling on KU, Amazon or KDP will show you how much if everybody's read during the month. So they call it KENP. Kindle,
gosh, there's so many like acronyms.
Something.
But basically, it's the amount of like how far they went through your book, how many pages they went through your book.
Yes. So you're in KU and you belong to this group of people that are on KU. And so what happens is Kindle, Amazon has a bucket of money that we have paid because we're subscribers. That bucket of money gets divided between all the authors
based on how many pages are read of your book.
Yes.
So if you get a Kindle Unlimited, like you can get our book Kindle Unlimited, but we won't get paid except for how much you read it.
Yes, exactly. Which is really odd. Somebody said to me, well, that doesn't work. And I go, well, they have customers, you don't. We do what everybody else wants.
Yeah. So that's really interesting. I also wanted to really quickly say, and you were talking before we get to ISBNs, which I think is really important too. And you asked a question about copyright, which we talked about.
Yes.
But, just looking at the categories. So I sat down with Veronica, like when she came last time, we were just about to launch, and I'm like, we're going to be running some ads, some Amazon ads. I asked about budget. So could you talk a little bit about how much you should budget for Amazon ads?
That's really hard because they don't take your money unless you have a click. So, and you don't know if you don't get a click and somebody is actually buying your book.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
And so you don't pay per impression. So you can have lots of money go through or little money go through. It depends. But
you can set a limit on it, right?
Yes, you can set. So in the bottom, when you're doing your ads, at the bottom it says how much do you want to pay per day, or whatever. I always do $5, and you can put it on the portfolio level as well. How much you want to pay.
Yeah.
So normally, I would say my experiences even before I joined this group, that Amazon, I would pay 25% of my sales would be on ads. And obviously, to push your algorithms, you should be doing Facebook ads, right? And they should be pushing it through to Amazon, so that your algorithms, and it's all about algorithms and rankings, and that's what gets you to the top.
So again, I'm going to go back to it. I mean, so like, do you need to have $500 a month, $1,000 a month? I mean,
I've never spent more than $250.
There you go. So I'm just trying to give you an actual idea.
So plus minus.
And we're kind of in the same boat.
Yes.
PS. And right now I just wanted to let you know, because it's a good push. We did a big push last week, which was a huge marketing push. We did the 24 hours of live streaming with all of the different authors. I figured we had to have some sort of major marketing thing. If you call something the most amazing marketing book ever, you better have the most amazing marketing book launch ever. So we did, and we did it 24 hours because there's 10 countries that were represented. So I wanted it to be over all the time zones. And so it went really well. We are right now number one new release in advertising, and we have been for the last couple of weeks. And right now, overall, on the rankings, there's 3 rankings actually here in this one. We are, and this is just because of that and the Amazon ads. The ads are part of it. Number 2 in advertising right now overall in Kindle. Number 6 in marketing in Kindle, which is almost impossible to get that high in the marketing category. And number 11 in advertising books. So not bad for the first week or two. So how do rankings happen? Like, how do they roll over weeks, or? No. How does this work?
Happens all the time. You will see one. So I went to a bestseller.
We were higher last week for a bit too.
Bestseller as well, and so the guy that's helping you said, take a screenshot because it'll disappear when you look again. It disappears. So I mean, I've literally been in the top 100, and I go up and I go down, and it really depends on the sales, and it depends on the reviews. Reviews are a huge deal.
Hugely important.
Yeah, hugely important. And so what you try to do is, and this is part of the launch as well, is if you know people, we all know people, right? And you say to them, okay, I'm launching my book. And if you are putting it on special, right, you can put it on 99 cents, or I always believe people should pay. Never do it on zero, right?
No.
Always believe people should pay, or $2.99. I don't actually devalue my books. They pay my work.
No, I mean, you also are doing this in a different way.
I did it the first time. I had 800 downloads my first book, because I put it out there. I had a PR thing, I had a newsletter thing. I did all my steps. But what I was going to say is, and it went out of my head. But so the being in the algorithms is all that push, all the looking at it. If people are looking at it, then it's going to push the algorithms.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's what you want. So when you're launching, is pushing it as much to people as possible, and the what they say, the review. Well, that's what I did the first time, right? Everybody likes a free book, and they didn't give me. I got 10 reviews. I got 5 reviews, and I chased the reviews. I didn't get reviews from these review websites. And please do not accept somebody says, pay us $10,000 and we will publish your book and do everything. No, really, seriously, you can do it yourself. Excuse me. And so, and I get them all the time, and I'm always curious. Okay, what am I paying for? And can you imagine making up $10,000 when you are? I make I make on this one. I'm making $11.
For the book. Yeah.
For the book.
But you have to, how many of those do you have to sell? I mean, think about $250 that you're paying on ads. So that gives you right away a little bit of the math of what you have to sell that month in order to like even break even on that part. No, it's really important. And I mean, for this book right now, P.S., if you're interested in this book today only, this is the last day of the $2.99 sale on this book. So we do have it for $2.99 right now. It made sense for the group that we're at. We couldn't set it any lower than that, by the way. Amazon had because of how big this book is, they wouldn't let us. But $2.99 today for Kindle. So please do buy it today if you want it.
And also give a review.
And give a review, please.
If you don't get around to reading the book, slowly move the slide along of how fast you normally read, right? And then leave it for a day and then slide it along again and read. But it's very interesting, so you should read it, right? But if you don't have time, get it to their back and then do a review, because they will get paid. And so, and we all like to get paid.
$2.99, I mean, we're getting so much money off that.
I know,
but
right?
So I mean, but the biggest thing is if you leave a review, Amazon will actually reject your review if you haven't read the book. Yes. Or if you haven't at least gone through it.
Yes, some part of it.
And read parts of the book.
Yes, exactly.
Just FYI.
Yes. So
I'm actually going to open up for some questions a little bit. So I do have some others, but ISBN was the first one.
Okay, ISBN. Do you want to know about ISBN first? Yeah. So ISBN is, the QR code, or not the QR code, the code that you get on the back, the barcode.
Little barcode.
And so I, stupidly bought some. Let me start again. You need it on a book, because if you're selling to a library or a bookstore or whatever, you need the ISBN, right? This ISBN comes from Amazon. They give you a free ASIN number. It's not an ISBN number. It's an ASIN number, which I think it's 10 numbers. An ISBN is 13 numbers.
Correct.
And, I was right.
Look at you.
Yes. And so, and you can actually now, it's changed in the last couple of years. You can actually now publish your book to other platforms or to bookstores with this number. Mm-hmm. But you can't control or know where they're selling, or if somebody else is selling your book, So the ISBN is a good idea if you're putting it out to other platforms or bookstores. And I actually am selling to other bookstores.
Yeah, I mean, and you never know when you're going to have an opportunity. So if you get it now, and then later on you can do it. So where do you get an ISBN?
Ingram Spark.
Ingram Spark.
And you can now, what they're also doing, you used to have to pay $45 for each ebook that you put on Ingram Spark and print. Now, apparently, they're doing it for free because I think they've got more competition. You get the ISBN from them. You can get 10 for $250, which is a good deal, because hopefully you're going to publish more books. And I don't know how much it is per.
I don't know. I didn't pay for it. I know Mark did it because he does it through his publisher, or through his way of, he may do it through Ingram Spark for all I know. Yeah. But what's great about this is that he took this book, this book actually right as we speak, I think is in a London book fair. And they're looking at it to publish farther afield, and Japanese or in another language. So they're looking at this book right now for that. And so that makes it possible to do those kinds of things. And
I have ISBNs. My previous books had ISBNs, and I'm just is not in the budget right now. So because I'm paying editors and people doing my social media, and so you got to know where your budget is
and what you're going to use that book for.
Exactly. But I am going to be publishing it I'm translating it into German, because Germany is one of the biggest markets for Shopify. So
that'd be great.
I'm only going to do one book and then see how it does. And we're actually doing the translation with AI.
Ooh, well, that could be nothing could go wrong there.
I do have a German editor. You said translate it, and then I'll edit it, right?
Because I have a nephew in Germany if you need me to have him read it for you.
So I actually lecture in Poland students on SEO and social media, for goodness sake, and also obviously e-commerce. And on AI, I said to them, "Thank you very much for being in my class," and it translated, and they just packed up laughing. It was so cool. But anyway, so I mean, translating a book as well is a very expensive thing, and you don't know if it's going to sell. Most countries these days read English books. I mean, as I said, I've sold mine in Japan, for goodness sake. So most countries know they need to read them, and you can publish them anywhere. Amazon will publish them in all the countries that they are in. You cannot advertise in all the countries. There's only right now you can only advertise
you showed me
in
that.
UK, Spain, Italy, France, Canada, obviously US. But I mean, they are in Poland, they're in Netherlands, they're all over the place. So I'm selling everywhere, but I can't advertise everywhere.
It's just the categories they allow whenever you're in the advertising.
Just for advertising.
In the advertising on Amazon, they just only allow them in those categories from here.
Yeah, it's very strange, but anyway. So, and then also another tip is that, I advertise my books for 39 cents for America. For international, it's
that's 39 cents per click.
16 to 20 cents. And that's why I think my budget for books right now is 159, 118. So it keeps it low. And again, I sell my books on print more than what I do on ebook.
Which makes total sense for this.
Yeah. But if you're advertising, so now your book is on sponsors at the top. And I never click on sponsors. I don't think you guys do either. You just look at the top and you go and search, right? So what happens is, because I'm advertising, my book's at the top. It's in the brain. So when they're scrolling down, they go, oh, I need that book. And that's how I sell my book. And so when I look at my advertising, my clicks are like, I've sold 10 books. In the meantime, I've sold 100 books.
But it came from that because it's got that that's a very good, that's good.
So if you're looking at the advertising, well, the advertising isn't working, but the advertising is working, right? Because it's putting it in front of the customer and it's pulling up on their page as well. So obviously, you get 10 other books as well. And so I started writing more books because I saw, the competition, Amazon's putting them together. So I quickly put out 2 more books. Because I wanted my own books in there. So, also selling more books is like with anything else. If you sell one product, people can only buy one product, right? And so you're not making that much money. The more books you have, as Mark does, I mean, he's got so many books out, the more money you make, right?
Yeah,
and,
that's true.
And, somebody said to me in the beginning, I was in this coaching program, they said to me, it's a business card, right? You can give it away. And I thought, I'm making money out of this. So, and I did, but I did the right thing. I launched it. I did whatever you do when you have a product, because if you want to make money, you have to work at it, right?
Yeah. And that's the other thing I was going to say, is that it's not like the biggest problem I think there is for an indie publisher like you or me or whatever, or even this group, is that you would just go in and write your book and like labor away at your book and work really hard at it and get it edited. And then all of a sudden, like, here's my book. And people are like, who are you? So there has to be a visibility piece of it, which is what this was advertised as. So that's what I'm going to talk about a little bit now, is that visibility part. And really, whenever you're putting the book together, you need to talk about it. You need to be showing people like different parts of it. Right now, the authors of the book are doing like environmentals for the book. So I'd love to have a picture of all of you like holding the book or whatever. I don't know. Just, we need to have a thing, ways to talk about the book that aren't like, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book, So you need to think about what that's going to be. And I like to set in little touch points as you go along, like little events that you're doing. So we did the 24 hours of marketing ideas last week, and you guys can grab hold of it, by the way. I didn't give you that link, but I will. And so it's the amazing marketing book link. It's in Bitly. So anyway, there's that. And so we'll get that link for you here in a minute, but you can go and watch that. And I put it into a searchable thing on Searchy, where you can go back and search this for any kind of, like, you could put Facebook in or TikTok in or Web3 or NFTs, and it'll pull up exactly in the video where that author talked about that particular thing. So we've tried to add like huge value on top of it too. You don't have to do that for every book, but for you, I know people do reach out to you and say, hey, Veronica, can you help me with this or that? And she's extremely responsive to that. So that's an amazing
I get
thing
emails
that you
from
can
the
do
book
too.
So in the back of the book as well,
Yes.
I've got a QR code that's part of your advertising. So the QR code goes to something free that I give away on my website, which is all my resources and links and stuff that I add there. And then a QR code for reviews.
Yeah.
Right. You've got to ask for reviews. People don't give reviews.
No.
And what I was saying about reviews is, you get a group of people that you know. You go, okay, buy my book. Now you give a review, and you have to nag people. Hey, did you give me a review? Hey, So, and I've got these trusted people in my workshop that will give me a review. And now the one guy emailed me and says, I bought 4 of your books. I bought your new book, and your next book is coming out. Can you give me discount? So I said to him, well, sign up for my newsletter. Give me a review on my first book, and I'll send you a printed book for free. And he was so pleased. But there's give and take. So I appreciate him connecting with me, being very cheeky to ask for
so should
discount,
I say, please
right?
buy the book and please review it.
Yes,
Thank you guys.
yes, exactly. And also, if you are,
I've got a sticker. If you review the book.
If you're gifting somebody a book, they can leave a review. You know that?
I did not know that. I thought you had to buy it to leave a review.
So so for him, for instance, I will send him a book. I'll pay my author price, and obviously taxes and everything like else. And then it's a gift.
So if you mail it from them directly from KDP.
Yes. So if and you're on Amazon, you send him the book, and then he can come back and give a review.
Oh, like if you buy it from Amazon for them.
Yes.
Not through the discounted author books. No.
What do you mean?
So like if I just went on to Amazon now, I could just send it to him. I wouldn't get an author discount. I would.
No,
right. I got that. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
No, I had to pay too much money, So you get author book. You order your author book in whatever country you're in, or whatever it's going to, and then I've got somebody that was in Australia that ordered a book, and the shipping cost me $5. He ordered it. He ordered it on my website, which cost $50. So I took it. I ordered it through Amazon, and it cost $5. So I sent him the rest of the money back, and he was very pleased.
Yeah, I bet he was.
But that's how I also do. If I sell the books on my website, I will actually literally order them through Amazon as my printer.
Oh, that's okay. That's really interesting. Yeah, I don't have as much access to that through this because there's 35 of us, and Mark has his finger on that. But it's really good to be able to connect with people through your book. And so that's
tell
the coolest
everybody.
thing.
Tell people don't know.
It's exciting.
It's exciting. And as you're writing the book, ask them for opinions like they did. Ask them for opinions about, hey, which one. You don't have to take whatever they say they like, right? Really. But everybody likes to give an opinion, ask questions and, and get excited about it, as telling people, hey, he's coming out. I'm so excited. Yes.
I even had a friend, Shell Israel, who basically wrote his whole book, parts of it, or at least the main bones of it as blog posts as he went along. And then he bundled them all up and then he turned them into a book. That's a good idea
as well. Yes.
It's another way to do it where you get an entire audience of people that are following along. And you'd say, well, why would they buy the book if they have all these blog posts? That is a very good question, except for tell me, do you want to page back through hundreds of pages of blog posts, or do you want a book like this to be able to refer to the things that you need to find immediately? So, I mean, that's one of the things that's great about this book is it's more of like an encyclopedia because it's really all about like all the different marketing tactics that are out there right now and exactly how you should use them for your business. I mean,
and people like
nobody
to
wants
read.
to read.
People still like to read. It's amazing.
Find them ever in the ether.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, people still like to read. They still like to have a book that they can read. I mean, we love our Kindles. I love my Kindle.
Yeah,
but I still like a book where I can write and make notes, and that's the opinion I got from my customers as well. My clients is that they like to have the book and look through it, especially because it's a step-by-step book. But on the marketing side, having a compendium of authors that write the book, you now sharing the
marketing.
Yes, their email newsletter lists, right?
You are, except for I will say, yes, you are. But just like getting people to write reviews, when you have a bunch of authors in a book, you have to remind them what they need to do. Yeah. So I send out a weekly email and we give them a prompt every week for social media. We give them, I'm in charge of the marketing, if you can't tell. I give them a prompt every week. I give them a what they should be doing right now, how they should be managing, like, the little details of things. And anything Mark sends me and says, please tell them to do this. Like right now, it's like ask people to review the book.
Yes,
ask them to review the book.
And
we have 13 right now. I think our goal is like 30. I mean, with 30 people, we should each get one, right? At least.
Yeah. And you got to give them a step for step,
Yes.
You do this, click on this. Here's an image which is ready to post. Please post. And I didn't post this chat either because I didn't have time. Because that's what happens, right? Quick. Everybody's lives are full and we're so busy running around. So I always tell people, please nag me because I'm going to forget. Seriously, I would love to give you a review, but you got to nag me. So then I'll do it. I'll feel guilty.
So let me know if any of you need me to nag you. I would love to have your reviews. Thank you very much.
Okay. So we had a question about copyright, right?
Yes.
So one of the things, you cannot copyright your title of a book. You cannot copyright your book. You can copyright, I can't, Shopify. You can copyright if you have a logo.
The content inside.
You can copyright the content. That's why you have a copyright thing at the front saying, I will come after you.
But where did you get that copyright?
I pinched it.
Yeah.
I just read the books and I thought, oh, this looks interesting. And then I read all the other books and I just put it all together into my own words. And then I went to AI lately and fixed it up.
But for the copyright, did you send that in anywhere to get the copyright? Yeah. No. So like once you put copyright on it, you can. What I was telling you is that there is a government agency in the United States where you can take your manuscript and you can email it to them and pay them. So it's a .gov, and I don't have the link on me right now, but you just search for it, U.S. copyright, and make sure the website says .gov. So like scroll. It's going to be like down after 5 million. Yes, you probably know. Yes. Okay, yes. And we have a journalist here, guys. He can tell us.
When I took media law at the University of Houston nearby, I believe it is anytime you create any person creates a piece of content, it is automatically copyrighted.
Correct.
Yes.
Except that doesn't necessarily give you legal protection unless you go through the government process.
Exactly.
That is correct.
They can change anything, what you've written, and then it's off. It's like having a drawing of a house or of a patent or whatever. They change one dimension and it's done.
Yeah.
So,
well, it is and it isn't. So it is done, but if you have it registered, you can then fight about it. Do you know what I'm saying? You can take it to court if you want to.
Yes.
But it is automatically copyrighted as soon as you write it. That is actually true. Any other questions in the room? What's what time it is? We're getting close. We have 8 minutes. Anybody thinking about writing a book? Let me see a show of hands.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. So start writing the outline, right? Start with what are the chapters. Think about what you're going to write. And
who's the audience?
Who's the audience, right? Yes, obviously.
Very important.
And then do your research. Have a look at, so I get my keywords from Amazon. I was in Google, I go top 100 best books in e-commerce. And so they will tell me what the top best books are. Have a look at what the covers look like, because you do not want to be, you want to stand out, and don't have a white cover, by the way, because you can't see it on Amazon.
Yeah, no white covers.
Yeah. And
very
also
important.
Not too much.
Huh?
Exactly.
The white
album.
album.
They went online.
But unfortunately, on Amazon, it makes your book look like it's a ghost with
Yes,
I mean,
because it's that small. That's a little thumbnails. What everybody's going to see. They're not. So it's like a business card. Don't put too much information on it because we can't read it, right? So it has to stand out. So I had to make my name bigger because they said your name's important, right? And obviously the Shopify has to stand out because the Shopify has to stand out because it's a Shopify book. But it's also hard, and also don't put a date on it. One more lesson I learned. I put 2021 on my books, and don't put the date in the title because you can't change it. Put it in the description, and because you can't change it. It's like
you had 2023 in your grouping though, because you can change that, right?
Yes, in my series. That's where I had it. I put my dates on my series because this is I wanted to make important to tell people this is the new book. So don't buy my old book.
Buy the new book. Yeah. And we did this too. So like what we did is with this, when we were making the copy of it, we took the covers of some of the top marketing books. Like, so you can go on to Amazon and there's an entire page that says top marketing books. Like when you click on any of the categories down in the low, it takes you to this page with all the books. So we took the covers of all those books and we lined them up with our book.
Yes.
And in like just,
yes,
I think we were using Canva.
Yeah.
But we just dumped them in there and we said, does it stand out?
Yes.
Do you see it? And a lot of us, I mean, I've actually now gone all over the country recently, and I put my book in like the airport book cases to see if it like really stands out. So I have some pictures of that I'll be using in my promotions and stuff. But just kind of seeing how it stands out. So the standing out is really important, which is why we chose this, by the way.
Yes.
Because this really just kind of stands out.
Yeah. And also getcovers.com is a very cheap, they create covers. They don't get complicated, right? So they actually created two of my headers. I now create my own books, but they give you all the PDF, the PDS, the Photoshop stuff.
Yes, you'll need that.
all the files and everything. And so I changed it now, but they created my first covers and it's $35.
So that was getcovers.com. Getcovers.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there is another one that actually creates. It's a little bit more sophisticated on the covers, and it's part of Get Covers as well. Okay. Fabulous.
So I would like. We are almost out of time, so I want to make sure I give the online audience a chance to ask me some questions. Could you give us a couple?
How can you simplify the process of outlining?
Oh, that's a great question. I actually have something to talk about that.
Okay.
So with outlining, whenever you put it together, you want to have a series of chapters. So I'd say, you're going to want like 7-8 chapters at least in your book. We had like a lot of chapters. So we had so many chapters and they were short each that we put it into 5 different sections. So think about the sections you want to get to. So what is the journey you want to take your reader on? And then put those down. Then for your actual chapters, think of a format for the chapter. You want each chapter to kind of follow the same formula because people feel much more confident when they're reading something and they know, okay, first I'm going to get, some people they have a big example up front, like they'll tell a story
or a quote.
Yes. And then they'll go in and they'll talk about the thing. And maybe in our case, we had 10, strategies. Yes. And then at the end, you may have like, here's what you need to do next. And you have like 3 things, like action items for people to take. I'm talking a business book here.
Yes.
Obviously.
I've got my resources after each chapter, if there are resources.
Right.
And then for my next book, for this one that I've just published, I've got quotes at the top because I started with quotes with my first book. But also, my one chapter was so big. I got so confused. So I started doing a content just for the chapter.
Yeah.
So now what I do is I have an explanation of what the chapter is about, what they're going to read. I have what's in this chapter, a little content, and my editor made it a lot shorter than what I had the whole thing in there, so that they know, okay, this is what, but because it's a teaching book as well, it's a little bit different. So then you can really, I wanted them to come into the book, oh yeah, this is where I get it. I also publish a workbook where I put all my steps in.
And then they can go get the workbook and download it from your website. It's a good way to get people on your list.
Actually sell it on Amazon,
Oh, you sell it too. So, I mean, you're so good. You're like, we're going to go with this. That's why I have you here. So I think, but making a container before you start writing helps you to actually do it.
Yes. You got to have an idea. It's like writing a blog. When you're writing a blog or an article, you know what your subheaders are like. Those are your chapters, right? And each chapter has a theme or an action or something. And so D. Scott Smith had a good thing about writing a book only on one thing. Don't confuse people. People get really confused. People really get confused about when you're putting in too many things in a book. This is different. This is a big book. But if you're writing a short, more of a shorter book, I don't know what to call it. It's not a low content. I thought it was a low content, but it's not. It's just a shorter book. It's like 60 pages or 90 pages or whatever, 50 pages. It doesn't matter. But stick to one theme. Don't confuse them
wander
too much.
off the
Yes.
reservation. You can write other books in the
Yes,
future.
exactly.
You can write other
and
books
the
in
more
the
the
future.
better, right? The more the better, because the more books you have, the more you sell. Against like products. The more books, more products you have, the more money you're going to make, because you get more customers wanting different things. Or
And
you can sell it to other
and if you
customers.
are in a hurry and you do want to write with a group like we did, what's nice about that is that you don't have to write 3 hours a day every day for the rest of your life. If that sounded daunting, it did to me a little. But you can write with a group and put something out pretty quickly. We wrote this in like a month, right? So,
or if you're writing blogs or articles, smack them together and you've got a book.
There's one more question online. I'm going to take one more question online because it's 10 o'clock. So those of you who are staying, I love you so much. I'm going to answer this one more question. Yes.
How fast, what is a reasonable time that you can expect somebody to buy, finish your book, and write a review given busy schedules?
Very good question.
Very good question. I have no.
I mean, we turned ours out last week, and I have 13 reviews today. So it depends on the person.
Yeah.
You want to get them as quickly as possible. Yeah. So you may want to prime a few people to buy your book, and that are going to be your reviewers. And you can ask them, say, hey, I really respect what you have to say. I really love that you are into marketing, and I know that you know a lot of things. And so I like your honest review on my book when it comes out. Yeah. And then you just let them know it's coming out next week, and you just keep them up to date. So you probably want a handful, 10 at minimum, like within the first couple of weeks. But realistically, I don't know. I mean,
5. I've got 5.
How long does it take them? Yeah. It just, I mean, I honestly feel like
2-3 weeks, but you have to stay on top of them. That's the answer. I mean, it's like getting a review on a product. People don't like giving reviews because they don't know what to say. Maybe it's a good idea to give them an example, right? Because if you have an example in front of you, then you know, okay, I can just use my words, but I'll sort of similar to what they're saying. So give them an example, tell them what to do, give them a link, beg them, please don't, you cannot give them anything for it.
They have to buy it, and they have to do it honestly on their own. If you pay them, you could get knocked off of Amazon. And by the way, I've already gotten a bunch of people saying, I'll do this for you for a fee. And no, do not abort. I know it's hard to ask, but you've got to. And I mean, and then that, you can work with that person in the future, or you can say, hey, listen, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm here for you. I mean,
and also have your, if you're writing a second book, for instance, I've got my outline of the next 10 books, and I keep separating them because of D. Scott. But so I know that I'm going to write these books. In the book that you've published, write the next book. And I'm sure you've got it. No. Do you have
for me?
Book?
Oh, I have it in my head. I know exactly what I'm writing next. Yeah, I know exactly what I'm writing next.
So if you're writing something by yourself,
I'm going to write the
next
pathway to mastery, the social media pathway to mastery.
You see. So have that in your book saying.
And I have, I can't copyright it, so please.
So in your book, say, this is my next book, please. And you can always change it. You can come back and change the title and whatever. But remind them, this is the next step, right? Or join my group, or, I've got a course up, come in, or a free workshop or something. Give them something away for free. So at the end of your book, it's a business book. Tell them what to do. Right? You've got to tell them what to do.
Well, and one of my Smart Social Mastery students, she reviewed the book this week, and she even added like a video in. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah. So if you have the relationships built ahead of time, again, don't go into the basement to make your book and then come out to the light and be like, I am the golem from the basement. Could you please review my book? You need to bring people along as you're going along, right? So they feel like they're part of it, because they are part of it, because what you learn and what you're putting out there is because of the people that you interact with
all the time,
and the questions that you ask, like at Social Media Breakfast Coffee or Social Media Breakfast, or in my Smart Social Mastery group, or in your group. I mean, your group is super busy on Facebook.
Always, hey, I've got a new book out. Hello. All of them have all bought my book. So here's a story about one of my clients. One clients I've got, she searched for me online. I'm actually on page 1 because of my blogging. But we were working together, and the third meeting, she says, you know what? I bought your workbook. And I thought, wow. And she said it was so useful. Yeah. And I put that book up, and I had it. I created and I had it, and I thought, I'm putting it up. and it's actually selling. It surprises me
It
every
makes so much
time.
sense because you can implement what you learn.
Yes.
It's so important. So
I created that in Canva, by the way.
For business books, by the way, just create something that people can actually get something out of it and actually get a result. Please do that. So if you're making a business book, don't make it about theories. Make it about like, things that people can do to get results.
Yeah.
Give away your good stuff in your book. I know people pay you to do that, but guess what? They'll read your book and then they'll pay you to help them to implement it.
Yes.
Do not be afraid to give away your good stuff. Give away your good stuff.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm big on that. Sorry. So I'm going to leave it with that, except for please go buy these books, especially this Shopify book, by the way. Go back and listen to the Shopify episode that I did with Veronica. You don't just have to be selling, actual goods. You can sell services through Shopify, which is really cool. You can go to smbhou.com and just search her name, and that video will come up for you, as well as this one. So, and also buy this book today. It is the last day. It's $2.99 on Amazon Kindle. I would love for you guys to get the deal while you can. But even if you don't get the deal, it's written by 36 subject matter experts in each area. So it's not like one person trying to be great at all the things. It's like each person has their own expertise.
And you have 350 ideas.
350 ideas. Thank you. It's 350 ideas and it's $2.99. So it's like cheaper than like, how much is that per idea? It's like less than a cent per idea. I don't know.
Yes.
About a penny per idea or something.
Yeah.
So it's really, really good right now. And I'd love to get your also review if you do look at it, and let me know you got it. Take a picture and let me know you got it. And I'd love to get to know you with that. So anyway, and same thing with Shopify. I'm sorry. Tell them where to get it.
Also obviously on Amazon. Under Veronica Jeans, and also page, I think you put a link in.
I did.
But if you look for Shopify Made Easy, it'll pop up. All my books will pop up, and only buy the black books because the black books are the new ones.
Yes.
And so the workbooks are going up. Actually, my third book is coming up now, end of June, right?
I think
middle of July. So I'm taking 6 weeks to write my books now, because I also I pre-write them as I am doing research.
And you now have a format, so you just like go into your format.
Yes,
anyway,
exactly.
Guys, the format is really key. It'll make it easy, and awesome. And definitely don't just trust AI to edit your books.
Don't.
Make sure you do that, but then let a person look at them too.
Yes.
Really important. So all you editors out there, I'm pulling for you. All right, guys, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Come back next month. It's going to be Miss Jennifer. I don't know where she is right this moment, but she's going to be here talking to Madeline Sklar. She's going to be talking about using audio, and she is a Twitter queen, which I know Twitter's you're like, does Twitter still exist? Yes, it does. And she's using audio from Twitter for podcasting. Crazy stuff. So it'll be podcasting. It'll be is Twitter still relevant? It'll be really cool. And Jennifer is going to be doing that for you because I will be in Europe. So I will see you guys soon.
Okay.
All right, guys, I'll talk to you.